This is a rather sensitive topic that doesn't really get discussed often, and I think that's because it forces us to face where we are in life and whether or not we truly feel like we can do better. And that's the unspoken desire for people to stay on our level, most commonly dressed up as, oh, they're so humble. I encourage you to listen with an open mind and an open heart. And if this creates uncomfortable feelings, please do not run from them. Face them because they might lead you to a realization that will free you from the small cage you've been willingly keeping yourself locked in. I think that we somehow have adopted this belief that those who seemingly live on less have more integrity, that they are more morally righteous than someone who has acquired more. And this was a belief that pained me to confront in my own way of thinking. I really had to dig deep in order to discover why I associated wealth with corruption, deceitfulness, and immorality. And why was it in my nature to, in a way, praise those for having less, yet giving the side eye to someone who adorn themselves in material things? Like anything, I believe that it all starts with our upbringing. Growing up, many of us hear things being said by our elders like more money, more problems, they've got too much money, the rich are always taking from the poor. Money, which is an inanimate object, makes you evil. And we believe that those with more should give to the less fortunate, which ethically holds truth. But it's like we're not satisfied until it's at the rate of giving in which they would be equals. It's like the more money one has, the more they are dehumanized. Like, take a look at a celebrity's comments, whether that's on Facebook, Instagram, maybe even TikTok. It's often a sea full of hate that is so strong that one will go out of their way to type a public insult about someone they don't know personally, and often they don't have a valid reason to back up the insult. And I believe it's, in a sense, to bring down someone whom one feels is too high for their own comfort level. When these people voice their sadness or any type of concern, you will almost certainly see the belief that problems should not exist in their world because of their wealth. And no, I am not here to throw on, a cape and save a celebrity, but hopefully that sheds light on the unrealized belief that money is evil and therefore those who have an abundance of it. So, how does this relate to us? It's often a complaint that when one elevates financially, they change for the worst. But those doing the elevating complain of new hate coming from those who used to support them. And I was thinking, why is that? Scarcity. The lack of belief that when one elevates, the other can too. There is not enough room. If they got a specific opportunity you were wanting, then there's this belief that there won't be another one for you. Or maybe scarcity manifests itself as money will corrupt you and you have to lose your morals in order to have more. So you subconsciously push opportunities to make more away. And this is trapping you in a reality where you play it small, yet you are upset with those who allowed themselves to receive more. So when you see someone who could adorn themselves in these material things, yet they don't, the common praise is, oh my gosh, you are so humble. It's like we yearn for those who seem out of reach to show signs that they are a normal person. Something as simple as someone's child being dressed in Target clothes gives us like a sigh of relief because the kids look quote unquote like normal kids. And we seek something that allows us to relate to another person. And breaking it down, it's sad. So this is something that I 100% had a personal struggle with, especially because my goals required me to elevate financially, but I had a scarcity mindset when it came to money. I felt like there was never going to be enough money, that it was nice for other people, but I could never do, half of the things that they did. My goals required more, but mentally, I was just depleted. If your mentality is scarce, but your goals require abundance, belief, faith, and more, then it's going to clash. Which is why it was so important for me to go back and look at these beliefs head on, no matter how uncomfortable they made me feel, because I was my own roadblock and I needed to get out of my own way. And if your mentality does not align with your goals, you will not get to them. You will self-sabotage every single time. And as I'm on my financial journey, I hit a place where I started to realize that the comments that were coming in helped to fuel the beliefs that I was trying to overcome. You are so humble. Oh, there's so many different accounts out there that, they have nice cars and all of these things, but I love how you seem so relatable. And it was the word relatable that kind of pushed me into this season where I felt like I had to have less, and more literally scared me. More did not scare me anymore because I didn't feel like I believed it, which it did in the beginning. More scared me because I felt like I was now going to become that person that felt out of reach to the people that were looking at me for inspiration and motivation. And this is something that I see for those other accounts, maybe that started off with very humble beginnings, and they allowed themselves to grow. They allowed themselves to elevate. And a lot of the comments that I was seeing was around the topic of them not being relatable anymore. And I don't think that it's that person's fault. 100%. It's not that person's fault. It is the mentality of the person or the people that were once following them. Maybe they just surpassed, that person's comfort level and just where they are in their season of life. So they don't feel relatable. But this made me panic because I didn't want to be that person. I didn't want to get those type of comments. I didn't want to surpass other people's comfort levels that they had placed on me. So in turn, I was playing it small. I was forcing myself to believe that I was okay with less, that less made me happy, and more, it wasn't always about more, which it's not, but that little desire that I had, which was really true to my inner self. So that little desire that I had for more, I would shush. I would say no to, because you have to stay relatable. You have to stay where other people are, because if you continue to elevate, you're going to make them uncomfortable, and you get this anxiety when you start to think about other people, thinking that you're better than them, or thinking that you think that you're better than them, and that you're not humble anymore. I didn't want to deal with that. So that was something that I really, really had to face. Now, yes, I am a person. I know I don't care to have a lot of material things, but I'm allowing myself to still have things. If I want a new car, I want to get a new car. I'm going to get it. If I want to move into a nicer place, I'm going to finally allow myself to do it without the fear of me provoking envy and hate. And it sounds crazy, but I know that a lot of people keep themselves small to avoid those uncomfortable feelings of being looked at as someone who's kind of out of touch with reality. And I will say one thing that really, really helped me to get out of my own way was me knowing that allowing myself to elevate not only helps me, but it helps other people. All of the causes that I wanted to support, all of the things that I wanted for myself and my children, all of that required money. It still to this day requires money, and it requires making more than I currently am, which means that I'm going to have to consistently elevate and seek out ways to increase my income. And knowing that other people are relying on me to get out of my own way, that helped to shift my perspective. So it's not, oh, I'm just increasing my income and seeking more just so I can be, a money hoarder and say that I have all of these things. It's, I have a calling, I feel, or a desire to want to support and do all of these things. And I can't do that if I keep myself small. Like a specific cause that I want to support is to help other single women, those who are maybe in homes that are safe places for domestic abuse victims. That's one place that I used to volunteer. So if I want to be able to change these women's lives, which it requires money, let's keep it real, everything in life requires money. If I want to support them, I'm going to have to increase my income. And to keep elevating, to keep up with inflation, and everything that's going up. And I sit and think about the young mothers that I would see and their children. And some of them were battered, like black and blue eyes. It made me very uncomfortable, but I had to kind of like put on the, hey, how are you? Okay face to not show my discomfort so that I didn't, make them feel any type of way. But I literally visualized in my mind those women and those children and them just sitting in a room, not being able to do anything, looking for, a brighter day, a way out of their situation, and it never coming. And I know this is like far-fetched, but it never coming because I said, not me. Everyone, not me. I have to keep myself small because I don't want to be, provoking envy and bad talk. Because I let my fears speak greater than my vision, they will not be able to get out of that home. I visualize them sitting and waiting on me specifically to move my feet, to be able to gain that faith behind myself that allows me to elevate financially. And I view carrying my family and everyone on my back, and that is what motivates me. I am not money motivated. If you are a person that's not money motivated, I 100% recommend you try this. Try, thinking about the people that you love in your life, thinking about the causes that you love, and viewing it as them needing you, them waiting on you to start stepping out on faith and to claim abundance for yourself. And then them being freed because you freed yourself. And I promise you, you're going to see making more money and a more, I don't want to say ethical, but just a better way. My prayer is that you ask yourself those difficult questions to figure out why you subconsciously tell yourself, for them, but not for me. To figure out why you may be keeping yourself small. And I pray that in the answers, you slowly start to release yourself from the beliefs that are not even your own. You release yourself from the small cage that you have been locking yourself up in just for the comfort of others, and realize that you, at your highest version of self, will just be an extension of who you already are if you continue to elevate financially, as long as you monitor your heart posture.